Today I have a very important must-watch video for all my bow hunters out there, especially whitetail hunters in particular. I'm going to be giving you 5 very important pieces of information that are often maybe overlooked, or just some little tidbits that I do and like to check myself. But stay tuned till the end of the video to get my number 1 piece of advice. But we're going to start off with number 5. This is very simple, and that is shooting your bow during the season. I like to shoot my bow after I get out of the stand. A lot of times it's cold out, we have our broadheads on, and we just set our bow off to the side. We go get some food, something like that, and we just leave it for the next hunt. But it's very important that we're checking these things, because a lot of times seasons are long and we're rough on our equipment. We're banging our bow off our ladders and sticks and we're bringing them up the tree. Sometimes they're falling over, getting in and out of cars, going on 4-wheeler rides and stuff like that. And we don't want to be missing deer and that be our first time we find out that our sight or our rest or something is knocked off and not right on our equipment. Number 4, we have shooting at uneven yardages. So this can be practiced very easily. So if we have our 20, 30, 40 pins, instead of going out and shooting those yardages, we're going to shoot in between yardages and get our arrow drop. That way we know if a deer comes by and he's at 40 yards and he takes a couple steps, we know how to shoot and how and where our arrow is going to impact when we're not shooting exact yardages. So I'm going to demonstrate that in just a second. All right guys, we're at 40 yards. I'm going to shoot an arrow with my pin set at 35, and I'm going to have to hold over this for my arrow to hit where I want. Practicing this is going to make you more versatile and be able to adapt quicker in situations, especially during the rut. You might have a deer coming through, you're ranging him at 30 yards, maybe he takes 2 steps closer after you draw back. You need to be able to put a good kill shot on this deer without having to worry where your arrow is going to hit. You don't want it to be a guessing game. You want to make sure that you can be as efficient and as lethal as possible, especially in situations of high stress. Tip number 3 is going to be using your rangefinder to locate very recognizable objects in your shooting area. If there's a big tree or a fallen log or a stump, something that's very easily recognizable, you can know when a deer's running through, hey, he's in this general vicinity, he's close to the stump, that stump is 30 yards. Boom, you can use your pin. You don't have to waste time ranging. It's just going to make you more efficient, and it's going to help you out a lot, especially in the deer woods. Things happen fast when you party with whitetails. That's a spinoff from Dan Staton. We like that guy over there on elk shape. But moving down the line, we're at number 2. This is something very easy, and it's going to be shooting with your hunting clothes on. Especially as season goes on, it gets cold, wearing a lot of stuff, big jackets, neck gaiters, hoods, even our collars or face masks or something like that, and gloves too. Anything that's going to be coming in contact in this area or even on your arm, you want to make sure that you know how your bow is going to be affected by that. Your anchor point, these things can all change when you're adding in different variables, and you don't want your first shot on a deer to be when you find out that you can't shoot with gloves on or something of that sort. So my most important tip, my number 1 tip for this video, if you take anything away, is going to be shot placement. So this is my black bear here. We're going to pretend like he's a deer for a second. And what we need to do is aim as low as we can go and still kill this deer if he does not move. So if this deer is a target and he's stationary, he's not moving, we're going to want to aim right in here because it's going to be a perfect heart shot. But 9 times out of 10, deer are ducking or having some sort of downward reaction. I've never seen a deer jump over an arrow before, it's because that's just not how it works. So what we often see is a lot of misses over top or in no man's land up here, because we have these nice scoring rings that we practice at, and we see people shooting and impacting deer here, but that's not actually where you're supposed to aim at. Like I said, you want to go as low as you can go and still kill that deer if it doesn't move at all. And another thing to keep in mind is we see a lot of people shooting far on TV, and it's very important to know that if you're shooting in the upper 30s or low 40s, that this is probably the hardest range to shoot a deer at, because not only do they have enough time to hear, they also have enough time to react and completely move. So if you struggle to shoot deer in these areas, that's probably why, and it's just something to be aware of if you are somebody that takes shots at those yardages. All right, wrapping the video up, guys. Hopefully I helped you learn something maybe you didn't know or that you haven't implemented yet. These are just some very common things that I like to do, and I think that other people should do that are going to make them more successful. So stay tuned for more content. Going to be trying to do some film for hunts and things like that coming down the road. So leave a like, leave a subscribe, do whatever you want, ask any questions of what you want to see, and yeah.